Oh no. Deported. How they gonna do that? They're saying he was mistakenly deported. There's an outcry. People are very upset. No!
Our three children's.
A family torn apart by a government mistake.
In a blink of an eye, our three children's lost their father, and I lost the love of my life.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Yo, and this prison's no joke. I think I started watching a documentary about this prison. Oh my God.
Was deported to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador last month. After
they just lop them in there. They're all on top of each other. There's like no
immigration
space.
Officials made what they now admit was an administrative error. His wife, Jennifer, has been unable to contact him.
I'm doing the best to fight for you and our children.
His lawyers say the 29-year-old moved to the United States as a teenager to escape gang violence in El Salvador. In 2019, a judge granted him protection from being sent back on the basis he faced legitimate fear of persecution there. But in March, immigration officials did just that. They've since admitted that was a mistake.
The government sent him there, knowing it was prohibited from sending him there.
It's just not enough to admit that you made a mistake. You need to fix it.
The government is now arguing it's powerless to bring him back.
Oh, shit.
But a judge says they have to, calling his deportation an illegal act.
Well, you can see just how affected this community has been by Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation. And he's just one of so many people who've been swept up in these deportations. And it's not just families and communities who are questioning the legality and morality of the Trump administration's deportation regime.
It's ridiculous. It's like they just look at you and they say that you shouldn't be here. And that.
Shit, man, I made sure I have my document, my social security card, birth certificate. Oh man. But so there's a story with this guy apparently. So yeah, 29-year-old. He's a resident of Maryland. We're gonna watch this. This just came out. When did this come out? 2 hours ago. This video we're about to watch. But his name is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, 29 years old, resident of Maryland, was mistakenly deported to El Salvador on March 15. Is this guy even going to make it back? That's probably kind of scary, especially because he supposedly has some gang ties over there when he was a teenager. So despite a 2019 immigration judge's order ruling that granted him protection from deportation due to credible fears of gang persecution, he fled El Salvador at the age of 16 to escape threats from the gang called Barrio 18. And he built a life in the U.S., working in construction, marrying a U.S. citizen, and raising 3 children with disabilities. Wow. So in 2019, Maryland police accused this guy, Abrego Garcia, of being an MS-13 member on a confidential informant's claim. Despite no formal charges or substantiated evidence, nevertheless, Immigration and Customs, ICE, detained him, eventually gained protection from deportation. Now, in March 2025, amid efforts to expedite the expulsion of the alleged MS-13 members, Abrego was deported to El Salvador, to the notorious Sicat prison, erroneously labeled as an MS-13 member. The White House acknowledged the administrative error. So that's kind of fucked up. If it's a mistake, wow. So a judge ruled the deportation illegal and ordered the government to return Abrego by April 7th. However, the Supreme Court temporarily halted this order pending further legal proceedings. The administration argues that the court's lack of jurisdiction to compel his return raises significant constitutional questions. He might be fucked. That's just kind of like the gist of it. He might be fucked. Yeah. And since this is becoming such a big story, he might have a bullseye on his back, like a target on his back, especially with his previous ties. I guess from what it seems like is maybe he's changed his life around. I guess he has a family. He married a citizen. And now he's pulled back into his past. And so who knows if there's people out there, because people too, if they see you doing good, they see you happy. It's one thing, maybe he crossed the gang and he had issues. But the other thing too, like, oh, you made it out? You were doing good. You got a family. You had a job. You didn't pay tribute to the gang, to the old gang they used to be in. Some people, they're not happy with that either.
It's that they made an error. The lawyer who comes into court agrees with that and acknowledges it. And we know that was bothering the Trump administration because they punished him for having said the truth when he was in court. But then they go to the press conference room and engage in character assassination and lies.
What's the lies?
I think it's time for them to put up or shut up. Bring him back. Let's get him in court. Have the day in court. The Supreme Court's had some rulings that came out where the Trump administration is pretending like they're ruling in their favor. But every ruling so far has said, you get a day in court. Let's have the day in court. And I think if we get that chance again, it'll be just like the lawyer that's on suspension right now. They'll have to acknowledge they lied about his character. They attacked his character wrongly. We'll have to point out to them, too, the sheet metals, he's working. He's here in the community. He's following the court order that he was under at the time. And instead of doing that, they're trying to leave him in a prison in El Salvador with the gang that he said that he needed to get away from. They sent him to the most notorious prison in the Western Hemisphere. It's shocking, it's horrible, it's tragic, and it needs to change immediately. So we stand with you in support. We're going to keep fighting for you, with you, and I hope that sooner or later.
Oh, he didn't have citizenship? Okay, I got to look into that, Island. I thought because he married this lady, I assumed. Let me look into that.
The rule of law will prevail, and we'll win this case, and he'll come back. Thank you so much.
Let me just inform you that I will be writing to the Bukele administration to formally ask for his release, and also to make arrangements to go visit him, because the family has now.
Oh, okay. So the story is, so he does not have U.S. citizenship, and we know that he fled from El Salvador at 16 to escape gang violence. He later settled in Maryland, married a U.S. citizen, all of whom are reportedly U.S. citizens and have disabilities. They had 3 children. While he had granted protection from deportation by an immigration judge in 2019 due to credible fear of persecution, he remained a non-citizen with temporary relief from removal. His legal situation has become especially complicated when he was wrongfully deported. Damn. So technically, because non-citizens, they can get like Social Security and stuff like that, right? I think. Let me look that up.
I heard from him for over 25 days. So we don't know his condition. The family deserves to know his condition. And if they don't tell us, we will visit the prison ourselves to go visit him.
Oh, you don't want to go there.
So we expect to do that.
So non-citizenships is like, I don't know, man. I really don't know much about this type of stuff. Tourist visas, student visas, work visas, initial stay up to 3 years, extendable up to 6 years. But he's been here for a long time. I mean, they knew he was here. TPS, asylum seekers, DACA, green card holders. Not citizens, but they can stay indefinitely. So did he have a green card? I guess he didn't have a green card. He wasn't a citizen, but he had deportation protection. Well, that's the thing right there. He had supposedly deportation protection. Oh, as long as that protection remained in place, which it was until ICE accidentally yeeted him out of the country anyway. Damn.
This week. And with that, let me introduce La Luchadora, Congresswoman Nidia Velázquez.
Thank you, Espaillat and Jennifer. We want for you to know, and your family.
Oh, really, Reagan? Yes, my cousin-in-law married an American but got divorced. He had a Social Security card, green card, etc. He had to reapply every 10 years. Dumb fuck, let it relapse. Somebody was telling me, though, like somebody in their family had like started dating somebody, and all of a sudden they got married. And apparently it might have been for some green card shit or something. I don't know.
You're not alone. We'll be with you until the end. When we bring
Island
your son,
Fritz donated $4.99
Island,
through Super Chat.
So
Supreme Court already made a ruling on this.
So what's the ruling? He can't come back?
home where he
Let me see.
belongs.
Hold on. I'll look it up.
There has been widespread outrage since Kilmar's disappearance. And in response, the Trump administration has thrown around vague claims about his character. They haven't produced.
Okay, so they're saying he has to return. On April 7th, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts issued a temporary stay on lower court's order that required Trump administration to return Kilmar by 11:59 p.m. that day. The administrative stay allows the Supreme Court additional time to review the case. Okay, so they're reviewing the case. The Justice Department had sought emergency relief from the Supreme Court, arguing that the district court's mandate was unfeasible as it couldn't compel Salvadorian government to comply with a U.S. federal judge's directive. Damn. Abrego Garcia's legal team has been given up until April 8th, that was yesterday, to respond to the government's appeal. This swift timeline indicates the Supreme Court's intent to expedite the decision on this matter. Okay. Damn. So he's just kind of like on pause. It's like on pause. I guess they're reviewing the case. Oh, man.
A shred of proof. No criminal record, no gun ties, nothing.
Thanks,
they
Island.
want to act with impunity, to put all immigrants on notice, regardless of their status. But we are here to send a clear and loud message to the Trump administration. This is a nation of law, and no one is above the law. This is what happened when an administration decides it's above the law. When due process is treated like an inconvenience, when immigrant families are seen as disposable. And we must take responsibility for bringing him back. The Supreme Court has ruled that people deported under the Alien Enemies Act must still have access to the courts. Kilmar never got his day in court. That is a miscarriage of justice, and it must be corrected. Our country has the power and the responsibility to bring him home. If we want to claim to care about human rights, we cannot let this man rot in prison, in a foreign prison. And if they don't want to act, then Congress will keep the pressure on. Secretary Noem, Secretary Rubio, this is on your watch. Just yesterday, I sent Secretary Rubio a letter demanding answers about Kilmar's case and the broader human rights abuses happening at Citgo. You owe us answers. You owe this man's family answers. And you owe the American people an explanation for why the Constitution seems optional under your leadership. We will not stop until Kilmar is home. We will not stop until there is justice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we will hear from Congressman Joaquin Castro.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you also to my colleagues who are here to call attention and to demand that Kilmar Abrego Garcia be brought home. To his family, I send my support. Kilmar was a working man, a husband, a father. There's something that he was not, a criminal. Kilmar is not a criminal, and he had every legal right to be in the United States. His story and his fate are a cautionary tale for every single American. If this administration will start to strip away the constitutional rights of people who have the right to be in this country, they will start with the people who are vulnerable, whom they can paint as undesirable, even if they lie about that, and they will slowly move on to other folks. In fact, we've seen that start to happen already.
We're all next.
Legal residents have been harassed. DACA recipients have been harassed. Even United States citizens have been harassed by this administration.
It makes you wonder whether we're in America. It's up to all of us to stand.
I'm going to admit something to you guys today. I got pulled over today. I got pulled over. The guy said I was speeding. I didn't even notice, but he said I was speeding. So I took him at his word. And so I became very belligerent. I started blasting music. I said, fuck the cops. Nah, I didn't say all that stuff. I just said, I'm sorry. Here's my paperwork. And he's like, have you have any traffic stops in the last year? I said, no. Gave him my license, registration, and he gave me a warning. So that's what maybe I'm too light skinned. I mean, I'm pretty complected. He was a white cop. He's a nice guy. I don't know. So he was really nice. He just gave me, I haven't been stopped in a very, very long time. I guess today I wasn't paying attention just because I look all this nonsense going on in the background. Not YouTube, just personal dumb shit that I'm like trying to like get away from. You know, it's like, but yeah, no, I got pulled over today. It's been a long time. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. He was really nice. He just checked, gave me a warning, and that was it. I was like, oh shit, okay, thanks. That would have been the cream on the cake, the icing on the cake today.
Stand up for the rule of law.
I didn't give you guys a chase.
To stand up for our constitutional rights, to stand up for Kilmar. People from across the political spectrum, conservative and liberal, have spoken out about how scary this is, about how scary the Trump administration.
Yeah, I got very lucky because I've never gotten a warning before. I've gotten stopped like years and years ago before, like I think one time it was like a speeding thing. And then another time I didn't realize I don't know what it was. I think my insurance, I didn't pay the insurance or something. And like, so they suspended the license or something like that. And so they stopped me. And so I had to get everything renewed. But I've never gotten a warning before. This is the first time I ever got a warning in my life.
Administration is becoming. And just as reckless and chaotic as his decisions have been about tariffs, so too have his decisions been about this, about deportations. And so we join you, Jennifer, and the family in demanding that Kilmar be brought back.
I could feel sympathetic for like the family and the kids, you know, but people really need to, if they're in some type of weird situation like this, or like it was that other case, wasn't there like the Trump supporter guy that we covered? He voted for Trump, and then his wife got deported. I was like, oh shit. And they had been together, I don't know, like a bunch of years, like decades. And so I was like, well, why don't you just guys get married or something and go through the proper like procedure, or, you know, apply for the visa, whatever it is, citizenship or visa, whatever it is they do. If you had been that long together, you can provide all the stuff that, hey, we're an actual couple. We have this, we have that. I mean, I know it's maybe scary for people, but yeah, Trump's not playing.
And I want to say one last word about El Salvador. A beautiful country, but a country with a leader who has become a mercenary. A mercenary who had looked.
It is like a political thing, right? And I think that's why all these people are standing behind the family, because they're not happy with immigration and deportation. And so there's this family here, and then they're kind of saying, well, they're coming for you next, and they're coming for everybody.
Looks like is complicit.
But that's kind of scary. Thinking about that prison, oh my God. I forgot. I did like a short video on it somewhere, maybe on the political channel. I did a short video of that prison. I was like, holy crap. They have like nothing to do. They're just sitting around, like hundreds of them. Like
in violating human rights. Make no mistake, Kilmar and others who have been deported, some on shaky grounds under the Alien Enemies Act, are in gulags. They are in torture prisons. And President Bukele is responsible for that.
Oh, we got something to cover, guys.
Point, he also must be held accountable.
Oh.
Thank you, Joaquin. We will now hear from Congressman Juan Vargas.
We're going back to Maine, baby.
First, I want to thank the family for being here. I want to thank you, Jennifer, in particular. And I especially want to thank you for your tears. Because I think the American people got to see the hurt of so many families in America right now. Your tears are joined with the tears of many people in my district in San Diego, and they form a stream.
1 second.
And throughout this country, and they form a river of tears because of what's happening to families. Now, supposedly, the administration is the family values administration, and yet they're tearing these families apart. So thank you for your courage to come up here and show the emotion that you feel towards your husband who's been disappeared. We don't know exactly where he is. And I, too, never thought that this would happen in America. I spent time in El Salvador during the...
That prison looks scary as shit. If they know, first of all, this guy's been here for decades, I guess. They know he's been in America. So they're gonna already tell by his demeanor that he's from there, but he's been here so long, he's probably somewhat, well, it depends if he assimilated, somewhat become Americanized, it kind of happens. They'll be able to tell by his demeanors that this guy, what's going on with this guy, man? That's got to be a scary ass place to be. Holy shit. Who knows what they're doing to that guy right now in prison? Emergency. Let me do one more thing. We're going to jump back on the main. After these couple of lives, I guess, I don't know what we're going to do. I'll see whatever happens. I'm going to be in the house chilling. I got to clean up. Even though I had cleaners here the other day, I got to clean up before it gets out of control. So much craziness. Oh, and I wanted to update. By the way, those Virginia shooters were caught. I was waiting for a press conference today. I was thinking they got to give some type of official update on the press conference. I've seen nothing yet. I even have a thumbnail and everything ready to go for the press conference update. I haven't done anything. So we have to see what's up with that.
Do this, do 80s as a Jesuit. I was there as a missionary, and they disappeared people there too, and you never found them
again. That's literally was on my head. It's like, they might make this guy disappear.
I never thought that something like that would happen in my own country, where masked people that worked for the government would come and abduct people off the street. So again, I want to thank you for your courage. I also want you to know that we have 2 sheet metal workers right here in the union that came to support you. They heard about your husband, and they're here. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Support them. I'm just kidding.
You're not alone. We're with you.
Thank you,
That's
Juan.
crazy.
We're now going to listen to Congressman Chuy Garcia.
Thank you, Chairman Espaillat. Good afternoon. Muy buenas tardes, Jennifer. First, I want to say that you are not alone. Your family is not alone.
It's pretty sad. I wonder if the family spoke. Did they speak? That's the family there. I don't think the family spoke at this one.
Just said, honestly, we are expecting a decision any moment now. It could be today, tomorrow, right? All filings, all evidence has been submitted to...
So we have to wait and see. All right, we're going to go to the main chat.